8 of the 77 Club. Harry, start with the socials.
Hello. The Wolves 77 Club on Facebook and Instagram, at 77 Club Podcast on Twitter and YouTube. The Wolves 77 Club on there too.
Dan Bayliss is here.
Hello, Wolves fans.
And Jack Williams.
Hello, everybody.
You'll have to forgive any slight delays we get. I'm still on 4G, rocking the 4G in the new bungalow. So really am acting like a grandma through this post-Easter periods. Harry, we're going to start with West Ham at home. The big question is, can Wolves defend? To which the answer was no.
Oh, my God. It was just a bizarre, wasn't it, the first half? We were 3-0 down within a flash, and it's almost comical watching Lingard just run through, nobody tackling him. And then it happened again where he skinned Semedo down the right-hand side, or the left-hand side from their point of view. And it was just embarrassing, really. I've seen a lot of people saying that, why were we so soft? Why didn't we just hack them down? Like, I agree. And even Nuno brought it up, saying that sometimes you have just got to hack them down. But it shows that Cody and Sace, to be fair, are just not good enough in defence. They're very weak and they're not good defenders. As simple as that.
Got a crossover live to our wingback correspondent, Hamby, who was mentioned there, wasn't he, Semedo? I mean, the one thing to say to begin with is that we hope Johnny is going to recover yet again from another horrific injury, and it's losing not only a wingback when you've got a small squad, but it's by far your best defender. But Semedo started in that right wingback berth, Bayliss, so it's sort of right back, wasn't it, of a back four. What do you think of his performance?
Oh, well, he's got the defensive qualities of an unvaccinated 95-year-old with asthma against COVID.
Oh, God.
And it's not just him. I'm not going to point him out this week because it was a shower. It was an absolute shower all the way around. So it's not just his fault. The lot of them were crap. It was like watching the dog and duck on a Sunday down the bogs or something. It was absolutely disgraceful. That image of 6 of them chasing Lingard.
Oh, funny.
Like Maradona.
You have to laugh or else you cry because I just cannot. I don't know how we can go to pot so badly with 4 at the back.
Jack, I think you posted a picture to the group of Roger Johnson, and I think it's probably a fair assessment.
The first thing that came to mind was that they've all spent the Easter attending the Roger Johnson School of Defending, which is back off, back off, back off, back off. Oh, goal. Repeat. And honestly, it was a shambles, wasn't it? And it was embarrassing that it was on Monday Night Football and other people had to watch it because it was that poor. You think about the first goal, and I don't know what Sace is doing, but there's so many opportunities to stop it. I agree. Dendoncker could have brought him down, and Lingard just runs at Sace, goes past him like he stood still. It was just shambolic, and it was getting to sort of the stage of being a joke. And that third one, you're right, their third goal it was like a Benny Hill sketch where they might as well play the music when they're all running back after him. It was just ridiculous. Granted, Patricio should have probably done a little bit better, particularly on the third one. They looked clinical, and let's be honest, we were getting absolutely battered that first half. And the best thing that happened in the first half, the turning point that even got us back into the game, was Antonio going off. If he'd have stayed on,
well,
it would have been another 4-0.
I think it's. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my mic here. I think I saw Asher on Twitter, Harry, saying playing in a 4 is the way forward. The key stat as to why we lost the game is yellow cards. And I think he's absolutely right on this because West Ham did it, I think, twice. Should have taken them for goals 1 and 3. West Ham had no issue doing it, even tried to take Adama out twice for our goal. So is it just not really thinking taking the yellow is the best option here rather than playing some brilliant defensive football?
I completely agree with that, but that's just one of the reasons why we're not good enough of a 4. It's just so strange. Cody and Sace started off as midfielders and probably are better in midfield. Cody's decent at sweeper, but he can't play in a 4 at the back. I just want to say one thing, right? I've seen someone say this on Twitter and I completely agree. Our local journalists, the people everyone looks to, Express and Star, The Athletic, they never criticise Cody. They're like scared to offend the club and him, I think. And it's ridiculous because everyone can see when we're playing a back 4, he literally can't defend. He's so bad at defending. And I've said for years on this podcast that I think one-on-one defensively, he's terrible. And I know he's done well to get into the England squad, but he's got no chance of playing in the back four if England go to a back four. And also Sace as well has got to be called out. Even Semedo defensively. Nori was also weak, but he was probably the best defender out the four, which is saying a lot. And it's shocking. And it was entertaining. I think we had the most shots we've had all season. And honestly, I wasn't bored watching it, but unfortunately, we can't keep going 3-0 down.
I think you made the point, didn't you, Jack, saying we can't play in the four, but my God, it was so much better to watch, wasn't it? I think it was 5 shots on target in the end, which just tells you how the season's panned out this far.
I don't know if it was better to watch. It was entertaining for the neutral. I know that before the game, they were sort of joking about how it was going to be a bore fest, and it was anything but. And I know a lot of people like us playing 4 at the back. They like the fact that Podence started and that it looked like we can create stuff. But if you're going to defend like that, then 4 at the back isn't the way forward. If we were to play 4 at the back, we need 2 new centre-backs. Because you can probably argue that Bolly can probably play.
And a right back and a left back.
well, yeah, definitely one now that Johnny's injured. But it is. We just haven't got the players to play 4 at the back. Not in the Premier League at this sort of level. We got ripped apart by just players running at us with pace, which we don't like, and not having the, whether it's the defensive ability or the tactical ability to just bring them down or whatever, to actually deal with it. And it was an absolute shambles. And if you're like Max Kilman sat on the bench watching that, you must be thinking, you might as well go now. So if you can't get a game and that's what's on show, there's no point you being here. I'm sorry, mate. You might as well just go somewhere where you might actually get a chance rather than 2 midfielders playing centre-back who can't defend.
It doesn't help, does it, Bayliss, with injuries and coronavirus-related issues? Obviously, hopefully, there's nothing wrong with Bolly. I think he's just isolating because he has tested positive. But obviously, losing Johnny, we've talked about, is a big blow. But also, Moutinho, it just shows that we're not quite ready to move him on. I mean, I've been a big advocate for quite a long time of saying that he needs to play less games, but to a better standard. But I feel we did miss him a little bit.
I didn't think we actually played all that badly. The problem Wolves have got is at the back we're crap and up top we're crap. And if both of those are bad, it doesn't matter what happens in between. I think Dendoncker defensively is a shambles and has been for weeks, and the back four were a disgrace the other night. So that's where the issues lie. At the same time, I think Silva took his goal beautifully. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come. Willian Jose, I'd just say that you've had your chance, pal. You can, sit on the bench and go back at the end of the year, because he held up a ball well and he had a couple of opportunities, but he didn't stick anything away. And then Silva goes and puts a finish in like that just when we needed it. It's a shame that we didn't really push on and get a third. We had more chances than West Ham, and we had more. I think we might have had more shots on target. I'm not sure.
No, one less.
Jack, I'll bring you in there.
I think we definitely had more shots and chances, but they were clinical, West Ham, weren't they? Let's be honest. There was some great finishing from them. I know I seem to be defending Willian Jose a lot, but let's just hear me out for a second.
Why don't you marry him?
Well, it's not that, but he's been unlucky not to score. And if you think about it, I think Wolves are probably the only team who can be 3-0 down, get back to 3-2 with 25 minutes left, and then don't create another chance. Where's the momentum?
So true.
The thing is,
we should be peppering them after that. We should be peppering.
Do you know the one
them,
thing that summed it up?
Go on.
Sorry, I got a delay. Sorry, Jack. Go on.
Well, I say we should be peppering them then. And what we do is we take off a striker and bring on Vitinha, and then don't create anything else. So I don't know why he went off, to be honest, because granted he's not scoring or anything, but I think it helped. But then again, a lot of people saying Vitinha needs a chance, but I don't know.
The one thing that summed it up for me of the whole evening is we were pushing to get an equaliser. We had a little break. We went down the right. Semedo went with Neto. Semedo got the ball at his feet and had a choice of either getting a cross in or trying to beat his man down the line and get in that way. And he passed it back to the centre circle. If that's the attitude of a 30 million per game to get it back to 3-3, he can fucking do one for all I care. Crap. Rubbish.
Harry, we mentioned Fabio Silva there and his impact, and it was great for him to get his goal. And actually, I saw him compared to Mason Greenwood in terms of minutes per goal. And Mason Greenwood is on 692 minutes per goal. Fabio Silva, 285. And Greenwood's played more minutes than him this season. 1,297 plays, 858. Do we see a run in the side for him now? I know we're going to talk about Fulham later, but he must have staked a claim.
Yeah, on the Willian Jose thing, just before I talk about Silva, I'm finally starting to give up on Jose. I disagree with Jack a bit there. He literally, there was one point when the ball got crossed into the box and Neto got in front of him to head the ball. He just don't ever like bust his gut to get into the box for chances. He missed that sitter, which obviously dropped to Neto and he missed. Silva, fair play to him. I think a little bit of pressure's come off his shoulders since he's been coming off the bench for Willian Jose. And the way he took that goal, when he took the touch, I thought, please put this away, Silva, because he's had so many chances like that have been fairly simple, although it was quite a tight angle, and he scuffed them, but it was an absolutely perfect finish, and any striker in the world would have been proud of that finish. So let's hope he can carry that on. I think he's earned the right to start next game and maybe a lot of games going forward. So for me, I've given up on Willian Jose. I don't think he showed enough. He was tweeting out his old club and things like that. So I don't think we'll see him as a Wolves player next season. And hopefully Silva can step up and do more finishes like that.
I like that he likes to play off the shoulder as well. That was a real positive for me. The fact that he beat the offside line, brilliant first touch. That's a sign of something to come, isn't it? Really, we haven't seen Willian Jose do it, and he's played hundreds of games in La Liga. That's the icing on the cake. That's the best we could have hoped for out of Silva this year. It's a shame that it was such a shit show behind him.
We mentioned obviously Vitinha last week, and Harry and Jack actually, I think you sort of highlighted his performances for Portugal in the 21s, and he got his chance the other day. We're probably split between the two of you anyway, as regards to signing any loan players on full deals, but all of them played a part in this match. Has it changed your mind on whether any of those are going to be signed on permanent deals?
See, Vitinha, like I said, I think I've said before, Vitinha's the only one I consider, and I think I'm going to stick by that. As just mentioned, Willian Jose, Ait-Nouri, he did okay, but like Baelish, he was joking, but I agree. I think we do need definitely a new left back now. Johnny's injured for next season. Semedo is yet to be seen, but defensively he's not good enough. It's just, maybe Vitinha, but it's still a lot of money, isn't it, for a kid who's not really proved it in the Premier League? He does it under 21 levels for Portugal, but not really for us. I just want to mention another thing as well. Our main man Neto, who's been our best player, by the way, this season. I love the passion he showed at full time when he went up to Lingard and called him out for holding the ball in the corner. I thought, even though he had a crap game, to do something like that shows he cares, because I'm still worried he won't be a Wolves player next year. But to see one of our younger players show character like that and show that he really wanted to get something out of the game, I just thought that was quite refreshing to see at full time.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. You know, he shows passion. He frustrated the hell out of me with his finishing the other day. You know, the thing that bores me to death are commentators who are clearly watching videos of Ruben Neves from way back in the day, early on in his Wolves career, when he was dangerous from free kicks. And, you know, Ruben Neves is so dangerous from this position. And the one where he passed it short to Neto and he tried to do like a whip, like the opposite of what Scholes did it for England. Do you have faith that, Jack, that Neto will be here next season? He's clearly enjoying the passion, even though it's not quite going his way at the moment.
No, at the moment I don't have faith. And I think it's probably not helped by the fact that Jota was sold and has gone on to do really well. And I can see it repeating itself. And I really don't know. And I think this is also what's frustrated a lot of people at the moment, is people are starting to question what Fosun's sort of long-term goals are for the club and what the level of investment is going to be in the future. You can't deny they've invested, but the problem is the last few transfer windows, they haven't necessarily got it right. And I've said it before, but one transfer window can be the difference between finishing 18th and finishing 8th easily. Look at a team like Villa. So I don't know. And if someone comes in with a big money offer and you're Neto and you're thinking, hang on, this Wolves team, if they carry on this form into next season, it'll be relegation fodder. What would you do? And I just don't know. I really hope it doesn't, because it shows a real lack of ambition, but I'm not confident at all. And another name that's been thrown around is Traore. That first goal was probably the best goal of the night. That was a great goal, and that was made by Traore. I think we need to give him credit for that. Obviously, he's got his critics, and rightly so, because he has his moments and he goes in the game and out the game and drifts off. But that was class. He was unplayable in that passage of play to get that ball in the box for that first goal. So we just need to, I don't want to say, we need a bit of luck with injuries, and we just need to bring in a few recruits and manage what we've got a bit better. And some of those, it's just, well, okay, if you're going to play 4 at the back, we need better players. If you're going to defend like a bunch of twats, we're going to lose. You're just letting 3 goals in the first half. Like that's simple, and anyone can see that. That's what happened. But
I don't want to be overly cliche, but I'm going to be anyway. The next summer passage for Wolves is the most important in the club's modern history, because it's the decision of whether the Chinese are going to make Wolves into a top-level club or a bang-average selling club, in my opinion. If 2 of those 3 or more go, and we recruit kids again, Wolves are a selling club. If we retain those 3, Raul comes back, we strengthen the defence, then we have the potential to be a seriously decent club and start challenging in trophies. It was fine margins against West Ham. It was poor defending. That's my doorbell. Poor defending.
It's the exaggeration
Amazon.
police coming to get you, I think, isn't it?
Amazon are here. It was poor defending and not taking our chances. They're 2 things that you can resolve as a football club and do it, hopefully relatively comfortably. I don't think our overall football's that terrible, but this really is important. I know that it sounds like an exaggeration, but I really don't think it is, because it's us finishing 15th to 12th for a while and becoming like a Palace, or even worse, or that chance to actually take the step up. Yeah, we overachieved for a couple of years, but we really do have the chance to do it. And I only think we're a couple of players away from it.
Do you think there are levels to selling clubs? And whenever you say selling club, I think I automatically think of Southampton and the relationship they had with Liverpool, where they're nicking all their best players. But most of those transfers are probably funded by Liverpool selling players to the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona. So I think on that note, you've got levels in terms of what that means for clubs. And arguably, Wolves selling players in the Fosun era has meant that either they go to somebody in a completely different country and a much, much worse level of football, or they go to an elite club. And it's only really happened once. And I think it's just as Liverpool, isn't it? It's used as the example for everything.
I don't think people would have a problem with even selling Neto if we were confident the players we bring in would be an improvement. If you look at teams like Leicester, who've done it really well, when you think about some of the players they've lost, but look at where they are now, because they've been wise with their investments. But we just don't know whether we're going to suddenly sell Neto for 50 million, spend 40 million on Roderick Miranda number 2, and then get a kid who's 17, who's going to not play for a year and a half. So that's
done it with
the
Tomato,
risk.
so
We should just basically be looking at the Portugal first team squad now. I mean, like the first team international squad, and saying who here can we actually bring in realistically? Because some of those players have been thriving as well. I know we've said it before, but some of the other Portuguese players who are now in the Premier League, we need to be finding the next one of those, probably like Neto is going to be. But,
Harry, does wages come into it?
I don't know. Maybe. I think we always
Ruben
moan
Diaz
about
is in my head, that's all.
Yeah, well, we always moan about us not looking into England, don't we? I mean, we've been linked with McBurney from bloody Sheffield United, but I'm hoping we look better than someone like him, seriously. But because obviously people are overvalued within the Premier League. I agree, we will go for someone abroad and things like that. And this links into a lot of people moaning about Jeff Shee not doing an interview since like 2019. And when he did do his last interview, he was always banging on about us that, pushing to be like top 4 within 5 years, one of the biggest clubs. And I think the way we're doing it right now, I agree, is not right, because we are trying to buy bargains and then sell them on. Look at Rafa Mir. We signed him for like $1.5 million. He's done well in La Liga lately. So we're probably selling for like 12 million or something. So it does work for them. But if we want to become what they said we were going to, we've got to sign established players that maybe are within the Premier League and spend a bit of money. So I hope they shake this habit of just trying to find bargains all the time. It's worked. We made money on Jota. We'll probably make money on Neto. But yeah, I hope they do change their philosophy a little bit with that.
The biggest problem we've got though, Harry, is we're not owned by an Arab sheikh that can just throw his cash at whatever he wants. We are owned by a business that runs businesses who are going to have had a terrible 12 to 18 months. I mean, Fosun must be reporting that they are billions down potentially.
I think it's affected everybody, isn't it? It's due to coronavirus.
Yeah, I know, but it's relative, and they've got to make a decision whether they are going to then go and fork out more cash on Wolves. And I think that's quite a hard one for them to make, isn't it? If you say to your company and your investors, "Oh, we've lost 2, 3, 4, 500 million this year. Oh, I'm just going to go and spend another 100 on some blokes to play football.
Yeah, but take Thomas Cook. I mean, that's obviously an investment that Fosun have, and that's an industry that's been decimated, isn't it? The travel industry by coronavirus. But on the flip side of it, football has had every single top-level Premier League game played live for the first time ever, and there's never been done that amount of games being covered live. So their investment has been opened up to potentially millions more people as something to do, because there isn't anything to do during these times where we have to sit at home, we can't go on holiday, can't go outside, can't go to the pub for God's sake, but we can watch the football. Surely that must be worth something for them in terms of the investment.
Only if they see it back.
And there's financial fair play as well, isn't there? They've got to deal with financial fair play, haven't they? So they're not. They've never really been
make it up.
Yeah. Well, apart from the Silva thing, where we spent silly money on an 18-year-old, in everyone's opinion, really, we've never really. Have we really spunked money? Really? I think Bayliss would argue Semedo, but we've always spent well. But I want us to take a few more risks. But on saying that, Semedo, on paper when we signed him, did look like an established great signing, didn't it? And it just hasn't worked. So they have to try to do it.
8 goals against Bayern Munich.
Maybe.
He wasn't in the side for that.
Maybe we are
because they sold Semedo that they lost 7-2 to Bayern Munich.
Maybe we're just being harsh, because we have spent money when you think about it, but we just spent it badly, or just been not.
Recently, we have, yeah.
Yeah, so we need a good transfer window. Question though. How many points we got? 35. We on 35 points?
I've got the Premier League table.
Yeah,
we're on
35. Yeah.
Are we safe?
Well,
we have got Fulham next. So what we'll do is we'll move on to the away perspective. So if you're watching on YouTube, that's already out. Harry's released it, so go and watch that if you want to. Otherwise, if you're listening on the podcast, you're going to hear it right now. So we'll see you back here in a second. But it is going to be Fulham that we're talking about, Premier League action, Friday night. Not too much time in between games, but Jack, we'll open with your question first. And I'll open it up to the others as you asked it, is that are we safe yet, starting with Bayliss?
I'll tell you at about 10:30 on Friday night. Not to sit on the fence too much, but I think the next 2 games, if we lose the next 2, I'm going to say we're in the mixer, because it's against teams in that sort of zone. But Harry? We're not yet.
As said in the away perspective, if Fulham would have beat Villa when they were 1-0 up, I was shitting myself a little bit, because that would have took them 6 points behind us. I think it's in our own hands. I think we're fine. Let's be honest. 2 more wins, we're more than safe. But we're lucky with the fixtures we've got in the next 5 or 4. Is literally everyone below us. So if Fulham would have won that, I'd have been slightly concerned, because I watched them play Liverpool, and they were decent, but they have lost the last 3. So, yeah, I think we'll be fine. But we're just very lucky we had such a good start, because our form since Raul Jimenez got injured has been relegation form.
Jack, I'm going to open your own question up to you.
I don't think we're safe yet. No, I think we're very close. I think two more wins will do it, probably like the guys are saying. But if ever we go on a bad run now, particularly against some of the lesser teams in the division, we're going to start panicking game by game, and it's going to snowball. But if we defend like this, like we did against West Ham, then we could be dragged into it. We've got to be really careful. The best thing to do is just go and beat Fulham, and then I think the pressure will be right off then, and it won't matter. We can get this stupid season over and done with as quickly as possible, and I'll see you in August. But if ever we go and defend like we did on the other day, we're screwed.
Let's break it down indirectly then, because when we say, are we safe, do you mean that it's only Fulham that can really catch us? Because we don't think West Brom are going to catch us, or Sheffield United. Would we all agree with that? We could all just say yes, and I'll move on to my next question.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so then we look at Fulham's fixtures. Obviously, we've got them on Friday night. Then they've got Arsenal away, Chelsea away, Burnley at home, Southampton away, Manchester United away, and Newcastle at home. So it's as much about us getting those next couple of wins. But when you look at those Fulham fixtures, you wouldn't fancy it, would you?
No. I'm happy you just said that.
So there we go. Indirectly, we're not actually as worried, because we're looking over our shoulders, looking at our fixture lists and looking at our form. But realistically, it's in our hands. And I think Fulham have got to make up 9 points at the moment, and there's a chance to make that 12 points on Friday. I know it seems a little bit like panic stations, and it is quite tight down the bottom, so it does maybe seem like a little bit of a false economy. But I don't know what you think about that, Jack.
Judging by what you've just said, I didn't realise how bad their fixture run was. If we beat Fulham on Friday, they ain't going to catch us. That'll be that, I think. And also, the thing that worries me though is that Fulham will be looking at that fixture list the same as you've just done, and they'll be saying, right, if we want to stay up, we've got to win this game on Friday.
Win Burnley, win Newcastle, win Wolves.
Yeah. So I think it's probably a must-win for them if they want to survive, which doesn't help us, really. Because it's all right saying they're down the bottom, but they're in a scrap now.
Bayliss, do you feel a little bit better after Fulham's fixture list?
Not overly. Do you know what? If there's one club that could ever do it to us, it's the Albion, and
they're too far behind, surely.
It's
I know they had a great result, but
against 10 men. Yeah. Well, let's have a look at some stats. I mean, they're quite good reading, to be fair, if you're a Wolves fan. Fulham have never lost a home Premier League match against Wolves in 5 previous meetings. That's winning 2, draw 3. Last top flight defeat to Wolves was in August 1967. Wolves have won 8 of the last 11 league matches against Fulham, with their only defeat in that run, a 2-0 loss in the Championship in February 2018. After a run of 7 straight home league wins in games played on a Friday, Fulham lost their last such match 2-1 against Leeds last month. After losing their first 3 Friday games in the Premier League, Wolves are unbeaten in the last 4 on that weekday, winning 3, drawing 1, keeping a clean sheet in each of the last 3. So it's not looking too bad, is it?
Oh, they are statistics for the sake of statistics.
Of course. Of course. I didn't bring it up in the quiz section. Let's do a score prediction, Harry.
I'm going to have to stick with the one I went with on the away perspective and say 2-1 to Fulham. Our defence is shocking, and I think they're fighting for their lives, and that'll be the result.
Jack?
I just can't see us getting a result after the way we defended the other night. Play 4 at the back again, and with the injuries, 2-0 Fulham.
Oof. Bayliss?
3-1 Wolves.
Can I just say, Sam? Can I just say, I think we've got to start Kilman against Fulham. I still don't know why he's been out favoured by Nuno. I mean, I'd rather start him over Sace or Cody, and even we've got the young lad Hoover. I'd probably think about starting them too instead of Sace and Cody after that shit show. But I mean, if we go 5 at the back, bring Kilman in.
I'm going with 3-1 Wolves because you can't defend that badly twice in a row.
Bet.
We can't do it. If we defend that badly twice in a row, deserve to be in the relegation scrap.
Fair point. Let's get your latest betting odds and ticket news.
Hello, betting fans and fans on the YouTube. Finners, YouTube royalty. Harry Mansell's jealous.
Look at that. I started shaking when he commented.
We've got a couple of betting odds. Wolves are decent price for this because the 2 odds I picked out for Fulham, Mitrovic to score and Fulham to win, which is Mitrovic is going to score because Cody can't defend against him.
Is he going to start?
Yeah, he'll start.
So 4.5 to 1. Fulham to win and both teams to score 6 to 1. So they're pretty short prices on Fulham here. So there is some value. Neves to score first, 2-1 Wolves, 50 to 1. And Traore to break his duck. I think it's going to happen. I'm going to have a bet on this. Traore to score first, Wolves to win 3-1, 190 to 1.
Oh, wow. So he's got his first assist in a very long time. Let's see if he can get a goal in the next game. Just talking about betting.
I haven't done a Cerveno bet this week because he's just too crap.
Did you see the person that on a 25 quid bet builder won 30 grand on Monday? So he had 1,200 to 1 on both teams scoring in the first half, which you never do at Wolves because we don't score in the first half normally. Over 3 goals in the match, and Neves, Dawson and Souček to be carded. And it was a bit of a nail-biting finish because I think he'd done most of them by half-time, but it was Souček getting carded in injury time that actually pushed him over the line for 30k when he was time-wasting.
Time-wasting.
Fair play.
Nice.
Yeah, so 30 grand. So not all bad. Jack, any ticket news you can share with us? Obviously, everything opens up pretty much that's any fun on Monday.
I haven't got anything, Sam, to be honest. Beer gardens are open soon. That's it. Anybody doing anything? Anybody got any tickets?
I have booked a slot in the Brinton Arms at
Oh,
1:15
yeah.
on Saturday, the 17th.
How long do you get that for, Harry?
2 hours. 2 hour slots, mate. So
Is that all?
triple
How many
orders.
slots have you got?
Yeah, all day. I've got the same table.
Just like go walk out and put a moustache on and walk back in.
Yeah.
Senor Mansell.
I was going to say one of those glasses with the nose on, but you won't get a fucking nose big enough.
I need the glasses.
Need a traffic cone.
Oh, perfect. Well, I mean, we were going to talk about Jeff Shee, weren't we? But we sort of mentioned him earlier on. I mean, is there anything you want to sort of cover with that, Harry, or do you think it's been done?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, because of the rumours that come out today, that Duncan Castle on the transfer.
Do you want me to read the
podcast.
tweet on that one?
Yeah, read it out. Just
So Duncan Castle said the financial backing from Fosun is not as strong as it's been in previous summers. Wolves have to generate their own cash this summer. Neto being made available for sale at substantial price, in quotation marks, and Neves and Adama also being made available for sale. Discuss. I'll start with you, Jack.
Then we'll probably go down next year if we sell them three, because you're just ripping the spine of the team out, and then you're going to be putting your money on us signing proven players who are going to feature in the first team and keep us in the Premier League. And it's not worked for the past 3 or 4 transfer windows. So it's just too much of a risk.
Harry, do you think losing one of those or selling one of those is all right?
I think Adama might go, but I'd be gutted if we lost more than just Adama. I want to keep Neves and Neto, although Neto could go too, but I think it'd be a disaster, yeah. If 2 of those 3 went, it'd be ridiculous. And I think the reason people started calling for Jeff Shee to come out was because of this news today. It really upset a lot of the Wolves fans. But let's be honest, we don't even know how true this is, because as our friend Aaron mentioned on the WhatsApp group, Fosun are so tight-lipped. Where's he got this information from? I think he's just seen that Fosun have struggled a bit, and he's seen that our financials come out, and I think he's just put 2 and 2 together and thought they'll probably need to sell if they want to sign. So he's kind of just gone with his gut and just risked it and gone out, and it's absolutely exploded. As soon as Talking Wolves put it out as a tweet, it went everywhere. All the other clubs were laughing about it as well. So I think Jeff Shee looked at other clubs too, and it's just like no other chairman really comes out and does interviews the amount he used to. And I think he's just took a step back, because whatever he says, it just had fuel to the flames when it, you know what I mean? So I think he's doing the right thing, not talking. And I don't think we'll hear from him much at all, as long as he's chairman of Wolves.
And Chris Jennings, just on the chat, Harry, he agrees with you. He thinks Neto is going to stay for at least another season. Bayliss, I want to bring you in on that just to get your thoughts.
I don't know where this tweet's come from. I don't know the podcast
Twitter.
well. But,
fairly reliable Bayliss. He's not like always spot on, but you know what I mean? He ain't one of these who makes something up for no reason.
It's just one of those that I don't know who's got into the boardroom at Fosun and speaks Mandarin.
He's got a blue tick for what it's worth. Does that mean he's like always telling the truth? I don't know.
Just because you can order a crispy beef with the symbols properly on a Friday night doesn't mean you know the Wolves transfer gossip from the boardroom of one of the biggest companies going. So I'm not having it.
I didn't think we'd sell Jota last summer though, and we did. So do you know what I mean?
True.
So you never know, do you?
I can't see a board going to a manager and saying, right, I'm ripping your team apart. So
have some of that.
Right. It's all right. Gibbs White can start first game next season. Right.
He's going back to Swansea. His missus is missing it.
It comes a little bit back to what I was saying before about Liverpool, and the amount of times over the years that realistically they've gone and sold their best player. You don't have to go back too far when you look at Torres, Suarez, Arbeloa, one of the better right backs at the club. Mascherano's in there too. Coutinho
selling
as well
and selling 3. That's the difference.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that is the difference. I'd say that.
To be fair, he did say, sorry to butt in, he did say, look, they'd be willing to accept substantial offers. He didn't say they're going to sell all 3. They want to sell all 3. It was like, if we're offered a massive fee for each player, they will.
That's a cop-out
They will sell.
Isn't it? Because, of course, if someone offers you 100 million for any one of that team, of course you're going to say yes. I mean, substantial offers for any side, you're going to take it, aren't you? Because substantial offers have to
Yeah.
be relative to the player that you're selling, because a substantial offer for Roderick Miranda
Well,
could be 10 million, but for Luis Suarez, it's 84 million in Liverpool's case.
Yeah, well, I thought the Jota fee was low. I'm being honest. He's a young lad in his early 20s. I know we've argued saying, was he one of our stars? He weren't in the team towards the end, but we could have got a lot more for Jota, in my opinion. I think we got our pants pulled down a bit.
I don't think that.
I think we could have, yeah. How much was he in total? 41 million, something like that?
45, I thought.
41 million.
I mean, I'd want at least 65, 70 for Neto. And is Neto better than Jota?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
I think it was fairly low in today's market for some. Look at him now, absolutely tearing it up.
I think Jota had to go. The fact he clearly fell out with Nuno because he wasn't playing. He didn't start in the Europa.
No, I don't think they fell out.
It's a big game. And Ryan Bennett.
Well,
That baby came out with the shirt tucked in into his nappy. I won't hear any bad words that are going to. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I mean, for me, I didn't really have any attachment to Jota. I don't know why. I think I'm the opposite of everybody else on the podcast when we talk about feelings towards Jota. Is that I just didn't see him as somebody who was starting for the club.
How can you not have attachments towards Jota after that quarter-final goal against Man United? That's etched into my memory and soul, that goal, when he put us 2... Well, it was 2-0 at the time, wasn't it?
You remember
he was
that
great
goal.
for us. Mate, he was so good. He scored so many great goals for us. I think people's memories are tainted a little bit because of the way it ended. Maybe he knew in the back of his mind Liverpool were going to come in and he kind of lost a bit of motivation. That's why he was always on the bench and that in the league. But he still got a few hat-tricks, didn't he? And he was, on his day, we said so many times on this podcast, on his day, he was our best player when he was on.
We also said his day didn't come round enough.
Yeah, but now it is for Liverpool because he cares again. It's coming round bloody every week.
It's not because he cares. It's because he's playing with better players, Harry.
Maybe.
That helps, doesn't it? That does help. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't leave on such a dour note this time round, but we will say goodbye to Harry Mansell.
See you, everyone.
Jack Williams.
bye, everybody.
And Dan Bayliss.
Goodbye, Wolves fans.
And it's a goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Goodbye.